after weeks of viral videos from a young man YouTuber who was literally creeping around daycares by himself, making claims about fraud that were not there. And then the vice president and the FBI director were retweeting these videos without even verifying if they were true. So we're not accusing people of being xenophobic and racist. They are being xenophobic and racist, including the president of the United States. And I want to say, for one, that I stand with the Somali and the immigrant community standing here today.
This is the moment the entire room shifts. A Democrat calls it just opinions. Then the Navy SEAL congressman doesn't argue, he plays the video. And suddenly, nobody wants to stay seated. If you're new here, consider subscribing because these hearings are exposing everything.
Today.
Can we play the video I have, Mr. Chairman?
horta aad iyo aad aan ugu faraxsanahay in maanta safari aan soo gaarnay sida dadka badan ay u og yihiin ciyaalkeena yaryar ilaa iyo number la eg 20 milyan oo ciyaal iskooley ah waxay cuntadooda ka helaan iskoolka kaliya marka waxaan fursad u helnay in aan sharci soo gudbino oo la dhahayo Meals Act oo u fududeynayo in waqtigaanay pandemic aan ku jirno oo dhalinyarada iskoolka aynan joogin oo guryahooda ay joogaan aynan gaajoonin oo familkoodi wili ay fursad u helaan in cunto ay helaan oo meelo qaarkood laga qaybinayo ay cuntada ka soo qaadan karaan marka aadaan ugu mahadcelinayaa safari in ay tahay meelaha sayti oo diyaarinooyo cunto maalin kasto dhalinyarada ciyaalkii iyo familkoodina ku taakuleynayo cuntada sayti maalintii kaliya safari waxay cunto siisaa 2300 oo ciyaal ah iyo familkooda waxaan u mahadcelinayaa safari oo kaleete iyo dadka badan oo maalin ilaahay keeno fursad u qaatay in ay u volunteer gareeyaan oo ay taakuleeyaan familiyaalka.
One thing that is so alarming is the reporting that many of these fraudulent companies are then donating the stolen money back to the same Democrats that are protecting them and advocate for these very programs. Is that correct, Mr. Hudson?
I would agree with that statement.
Well, we just had one of my Democrat colleagues said these are just opinions. Do you know, are these guys donating money back to Democrats?
Yes, they are.
I'd like to enter into the record, Mr. Chairman, an article from Breitbart News saying, with the title being Database Searches Show Somali Fraudsters Funding Democrat Politicians. So these aren't opinions.
Without objection.
There's actually reporting on this. Our Democrat constituents like, oh my God, I'm struggling to put my kids in school, struggling to make ends meet, and my tax dollars are being robbed by people, and then they're sending it all over the place, and this is complete fraud. What is going on, and why hasn't anything been done about it?
I'll give you a personal example. So my family, my in-laws in particular, are politically diverse. A lot of them vote for Democrats, and they're fairly apolitical. They're not like me, all plugged in. And so I kind of use them as a bellwether for what the people are thinking. Across the board, everybody is upset about this fraud.
And I'm guessing when you guys bring this up, whether it's to the Waltz administration, whether it's to the AG, the number one thing that comes back at you is you're a racist, you're a white supremacist, or you're an Islamophobe, or like you've heard my colleagues do on this panel, it's Donald Trump, baby.
Yep.
It's all about Donald Trump, right? The old pivot. We're not going to talk about what's going on in Somalia and not going to talk about what's going on in Minnesota with this massive fraud scandal. We're going to talk about Donald Trump. Are you guys aware of the reporting that some of the stolen money is getting funneled back to the Islamic terror group Al-Shabaab in Somalia? Mr. Robbins?
Yes, sir. And we have evidence of it going back as far as 2012, where a man was convicted of sending $21,000 to Al-Shabaab. In 2011, 2 Minnesota women were convicted of sending money to different groups. Someone else, we have multiple references of how the Al-Shabaab takes a cut when the money gets to Somalia through the Hawala network. So I think there's ample evidence on this and federal convictions.
Yeah, that's outrageous.
It starts with the usual defense. Democrats claim the fraud allegations are being pushed by viral internet clips, unverified stories, and political misinformation. They frame the outrage as xenophobia. They insist this is all being weaponized. But then the questioning turns sharp. Representative Crane looks straight at the witnesses and asks the question nobody wants answered out loud. Are these fraudulent operators donating money back to Democrats? The response is immediate: yes. That's when the hearing stops being about opinions. Crane enters reporting into the record, arguing that this isn't rumor, it's documented. Taxpayer money meant to feed kids, allegedly stolen, and then recycled right back into political campaigns. Witnesses explain that anger isn't coming from just Republicans. Even Democrat families, even apolitical voters are furious. Working people are struggling to afford groceries and school supplies, while emergency aid programs are being drained. And every time officials raise concerns, they say, the response is always the same. They get labeled racist, Islamophobic, extremist, anything to shut the conversation down. Then, Crane delivers the knockout punch. With his remaining time, he plays the video evidence tied to the 10 Million Meals pandemic program, a program meant to help families during COVID lockdowns. The footage outlines how shell organizations allegedly exploited the system with almost no oversight. Millions moving fast, accountability moving nowhere. Then the hearing takes an even darker turn. Crane asks about reports that some of the stolen money was funneled overseas through informal transfer networks. Witnesses cite past federal convictions going back years, including cases involving money sent to al-Shabaab. Democrats tried to dismiss the claims as political talking points, but the witnesses keep confirming what's on record. Fraud happened, money was stolen, donations came back into politics, and that's the real scandal. Not charity, not immigration, accountability. Programs built in an emergency became gold mines for exploitation, and instead of reform, critics get smeared so nobody has to answer for the cash. This hearing made one thing clear: diversion replaces investigation, labeling replaces reform, and taxpayers are left holding the bill. Like, subscribe, comment, and share if you think accountability is long overdue.